Okay, today I will go through chapter 11, hopefully chapter including chapter 12, real quick because I think most of you have learned these two chapters already. Okay, so I will go through the slides and then maybe just highlight some key points there. Okay, and of course, you also have. I will also give you some homework. Okay, to do some practice, especially for some students planning to take the CFA test. I think the most of the exercise and homework at the end of chapters are important. So hopefully, if you have time, you can practice these questions. Okay. I'm not sure. I need to check if I have the solutions to this exercise. I need to check. Uh, but I remember I did, but it's a long time ago, so I need to check with the publisher, okay, bookstore, to ask for to get the solutions to the end chapter exercise. But anyway, I think this is a good chapter. Okay, chapter 11. Okay, chapter 11 is about the efficient market hypothesis. Okay, so theoretically the market is efficient based on this title, but in fact we will see most of the time, actually sometimes the market is not as efficient as we expect. Okay, so this is the problem here. Okay, so Morris candle found no predictable pattern in stock price changes. Obviously, I don't believe in this theory or his proposition. Okay, because I'm a proponent of the or I'm a supporter of the technical analysis. So which means I can find similar price patterns happen again and again in the past. Okay, so similarly, this price pattern will happen again in the future. Okay, so that's why we need to learn technical analysis because you can see, just like I mentioned before, if you go to the Google here, okay, if you type price pattern in technical analysis, okay, you will see the most popular price pattern. And why you need to know that? Because this price pattern will happen and happen again. No matter it will happen in the daily chart, weekly chart, monthly chart, okay? Sometimes it will also, most of the time, it will also happen in hourly chart. Okay, so that's why I like you to do more practice about the technical trading because I think this is important for you to become more and more familiar with the price pattern. So this is important. Okay, so let's come back to the slides here. Okay, so you can see price were as likely to go up as to go down on any particular day, regardless of past performance. How do we explain random stock price changes? So we have some hypotheses. So we have efficient market hypothesis, and we also have some assumptions or proposals about the random walks of stock prices. Okay, which means stock price should follow a random walk. Okay, and stock price change are random and unpredictable, and necessary consequences of intelligent investors competing to discover relevant information on which to buy or sell stocks before the rest of the market becomes aware of that information. Okay, so what we like to do from the technical analysis viewpoint, what we like to do is to detect the potential price patterns before the market discloses the relevant information. Okay, so that's why we usually like to say, okay, price is a signal, okay, for the information which will be disclosed later, which means that the price moves first and then comes the news. Okay, but if you believe in the news, you are always behind the market movement. Okay, you are always behind the market, which means you are always lagging behind the price changes. Okay, so 90% of the investors are behind or lagging behind the market price changes. Okay, so if you want to be a winner in the market, then you have to be very sensitive to the price changes. Okay, so that's why some traders, I know there are some traders, they like to become a high frequency trader because they like to watch the market changes very closely in the hope of taking the first move before the market knows, before other investors know the news. Okay, so but there's another problem, because if you want to become a high frequency trader, you have to be you also have to work out some better strategy in terms of your time and your cost. Okay, so sometimes we say that the cost is not totally limited to the monetary or money cost. Sometimes we like to discuss the cost of time, because if you spend most of the time watching the market very closely, every minute, every hour, on the other hand, your quality of life will become lower. Okay, and on the other hand, you also have to calculate how much you earn, how much money, or what's the profits you can generate from this high frequency trading. You need to think about that. So is it worth to trade every minute, every hour? Okay. So we also have a problem. Okay, so you need to measure the benefits and cost. Okay, so this is about the random walk, and this is also a chart about the cumulative abnormal returns before takeover attempts. So you can see this is day's relative announcement date. Okay, but from this chart you can see, okay, so suppose this is a price pattern. Okay, you can draw the chart, but you see here, this is the day of the price announcement. But before the day of the news announcement, we see very clearly the price starts moving around maybe 1 or 2 weeks before the news announcement. Okay, so you can see right here, stock prices starts to move. So if you are really familiar with the price pattern analysis or the technical analysis, you can start buying the stocks. before the news announcement. So what I like you to do is, okay, you need to become a first mover, okay, first buyer before the market announcement. Okay, so that's why we need to analyze the stock pattern. Okay, so you can trade this period as a price consolidation period, but whenever the price breaks up the ceiling, the highest price in the past, that means must this stock must have something news, okay, something new to be announced to the market. So you have to be very careful to this. So it's very this is a very good example, okay, for you to follow. What we are doing here is not to buy stocks here, okay, not but to buy stock here. What we are doing here is to buy stocks here, which means we have to move earlier than most of the traders in the market. Okay, so this is just a good example for you. And then we also have other price reactions to this, to the reports. So this is the report of the media. Okay. Okay, so why we are calling the market efficiency? Because most of the time we like to hold the market. We are discussing that most investors will jump into the market after they see the news announcement in the market, which means they want to have any profits to be generated in the future. Okay, so they are kind of slow uh, in their movement in buying the stocks. So that's why in the literature they usually will use the day of the news announcement, which is day zero. Okay, so which means when people see the news announcement and then people jump into the market and then buy the market. Of course, if you are a slow mover, in this case, you won't generate any abnormal profits from the market. Okay, so this is about the information. We call this as the most precious financial commodity. Okay, and strong competition assures prices reflect information. So the problem is here. We know there's some information behind the stock, behind the company, but maybe this is called, sometimes we call this inside information, which will not be released to the public, okay, after the official news conference is held. Okay, so that's why people like to use inside information to generate profit, substantial profits. So now in the market, we right now the president of the United States, Donald Trump here, people like to call the Trump as an inside trader. Do you believe it? I believe Trump is an inside trader because he created the tariff war that caused the U.S. stock drop substantially in the past. But now, in this case, he can arbitrage from this opportunity, okay, and then finally he get agreement with China, and finally, okay, he can generate substantial profits from this trading. Okay, so obviously, I believe Donald Trump, he definitely is an inside trader. Okay, he can generate many profits from his policy. He will become a very rich man in the future, but he doesn't care about the countries. He doesn't care about the country. He doesn't care about the people. Maybe sometimes he really cares about the development of the United States in the future, but definitely, I don't think he really cares about his people. Okay, I'm talking about the people is the average people just earning the median average of the income in the society of the U.S. So this is very serious for United States because rich people becomes richer and poor people becomes poorer. Okay, so this case also applies to this case is very I must say this is very much like the this condition in Taiwan. Okay, so rich people becomes richer. uh I don't sometimes we have we call this country is a democratic country. People has the freedom to vote. But in Taiwan, we like to say, okay, people is the boss. People, the public are the boss just for one day, which means they have they on the day they can go to the vote for their president and they can vote for their candidate parliament candidates just for one day. Okay, and after that people will lose everything. Okay, so this is a joke, but actually this is also a truth. So sometimes don't trust too much. Okay, don't hold too much hope for the democratic system. Okay, just like what US is doing right now. Okay, so this is another problem, not relevant to this material, but what I like to say is, okay, uh, you need to get more information from the market. Okay, but the good news is that we do have many resources now from the internet. Okay, so try to collect as much as you can the news and the information from the market so that you can have a better judgment, decision making for your investment. Okay, so this is about the competition as a source of efficiency. Okay, so in the following, we have different versions of efficient market hypothesis. So I will skip this, and I believe you have learned this before. We have weak form, semi-strong form, and strong form. Okay, so if I am a technical analysis, okay, okay, if I have technical analysis, I will I will probably uh, think that the strong form, okay, strong form asserts that the stock price reflect all relevant information, including insider information. Okay, so if I'm a believer in the technical analysis, I probably will think that the efficiency market is a strong form market. Okay, uh, because now I think the stock price can reflect all relevant information, including insider information. Okay, it's totally up to you. In the following, we have another topic about the technical analysis. Okay. This is about the research to identify mispriced securities that focus on the recurrent and predictable price patterns and proxies for buy and sell pressure in the market. Okay, when we talk about the technical analysis, we do have many different theories. Okay, and but I want to emphasize that there are only two important indicators in the market or information in the market. One is about the price, another is about the trading volume. Okay, the trading volume and the price are the most important two indicators in the market. And most of the time, you will see there are lots of indicators or quantitative indicators like MACD or RSI. Okay. All these indicators are lagging behind the price changes. Okay, so don't get yourself confused with all these indicators. Just focus on the price and trading volume. Okay, because I myself in the past are also a strong believer in some technical indicators like MACD, RSI. However, I tried many times, but finally I failed. And these technical indicators, to be honest, can help you to generate substantial profits from the trading. Okay, so don't get yourself misled by these technical indicators. Okay, so this is about the technical analysis. Another one is about the fundamental analysis. If you really are not interested in technical analysis, you can also be a professional in fundamental analysis. Just like what I said, only most people learn technical analysis. However, if you want to be a professional in technical analysis, you have to be very proficient in the technical analysis skills. Okay. And to be honest, you need to be the top of the technical analysis. So this is important. Why most people learn technical analysis? However, most of them cannot generate profits from their technical analysis because they are not learning the right thing, or they are not good enough to be a professional in their technical analysis skills. So you have to practice and practice and practice. So similarly, if you are a believer in the fundamental analysis, you also have to be very professional. Okay, how to become a very professional fundamental analyst? Okay, you can analyze the financial statement. Okay, you can analyze the financial ratios, but this is not enough. Okay, why is that? Because you also have to know all macroeconomic indicators, not just limited to your country. You also have to watch how the global economy goes in the future. Okay, so what I mean is that suppose I don't know about the Mongolia, but suppose I want to ask you an idea. Okay, suppose I am interested in the investment in natural resources. Okay, I know Mongolia does have many natural resources. Okay, and I want to ask your suggestion. Is a good time right now to buy or make investment in the natural resources? Because what I mean natural resources, like we have coal. Okay, we have uh, what kind of natural resources you have in Mongolia? Gold, copper, right? Copper, good. Let me mineral, metal, right? Uranian. That's a good point, right? Uranian. Just a minute. Let me check. Copper. Uh, here. I don't know if your country has any silver. Silver. Because a few days ago I just saw a video describing the natural resources ranked by country. Okay, the video shows that Mongolia probably can be ranked the first or second in the world in terms of the natural resources per capita, which means the natural resources, the value of natural resources divided by the population. Okay, so that means for each person, your the value of the natural resources owned by each person in Mongolia should be ranked, can be ranked the top or the second highest in the world. So that means your country is very rich in natural resources. Okay. However, the problem is that how to generate the natural resources to become the real money, to enrich the people. Yes, but what I mean is that maybe most of the natural resources have not extracted from the has not been extracted yet, right? I don't know. What I mean is that maybe Mongolia should develop its industry in extracting the natural resources like mines, okay, this copper, silver, gold, and you can develop your industry. For example, when you want to extract the natural resources, you need machines, right? You need machines to help you to extract these natural resources, and then you also have to process these natural resources. So what I mean is that you should build up your own industry, okay, to develop these natural resources. Agriculture. I know people, some farmers need to raise their animals, so they don't allow government. They don't like government to ruin the land. Okay. Yes. So you government need to balance these two. Yeah, I know. I know. Okay. So what do you mean is that if this land is ruined by the industry, maybe the land cannot be recovered for animals to live on the land, right? Mm, okay. But I think you still have a very good chance, okay, to recover, to extract the minerals in other places. Okay. For example, in the colder area, not maybe, I don't know, but maybe your government has to reach to find a balance, okay, between the industry and the farmer, okay, and maybe your government has to specify uh, or support some farmers, okay, with the income of the industry of the minerals, okay, so to support their livings, okay. So your government need to find the balance, okay. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. So what do you think about the how do you think how is the Mongolian government doing right now, and how what they have done in the past from your viewpoint, any progress or any improvement in terms of this policy? For example, like for Mongolian government to develop its economy, uh, did you see, or do you see any substantial improvement in the past 5 or 10 years in the past? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically, if you want to build the factories, you need electricity. You also need water, and of course, labor is also important input. So the problem is, if you can lower the cost of the electricity, okay, power. I mean the power. So this will be an important factor. Okay, so for example, like India, India, they claim that their cost of labor is very low. However, the cost of electricity may be a little bit higher. So that will decrease their profit margin. Okay. What's the primary power or electricity generated by the by what? Coal? Power plant. I mean, a power plant. How to generate the power in Mongolia? Russia generated power for you, country, by burning coal or nuclear power? Okay, so what I mean is that the power source, okay, for example, like in Mongolia, I just searched randomly, coal-fired power station, a dominant type of electricity generation in Mongolia. Okay, so I just this is about the energy in Mongolia. Okay, so you can see the maybe this data is kind of old. This is in year 2015. So most of the power will generate by coal, oil, and hydro. Okay, but obviously you can see the coal takes the majority. Okay, so the problem is that the coal power, okay, the coal power maybe your country has plenty resources of coal. So basically it's the lowest cost, okay, for electricity generated by coal. So we call you have lots of coal-fired power station. Okay, so that's very interesting. However, for example, in the future, in the future, but actually right now, lots of countries are building the nuclear power plant. Yes, and the coal, on the other hand, can will generate air pollution. Air pollution. Okay, so basically, coal power in some way or another is not as efficient as the nuclear power. But of course, we also worry about the nuclear uh, pollution. Okay, if the nuclear plant failed, we might have a risk of the nuclear radiative pollution. Okay, so this is not a problem. Okay. Okay, so what I mean is that let's come back to the more fundamental analysis. What I mean is that if you want to become a very professional in fundamental analysis, you have to know everything, lots of things, okay, in terms of macroeconomic factors. Okay, so let's take a break and we'll be back later.